We're going to go ahead and take a look at number 83 on factoring general trinomials, which is section 5.4. Problem 83 reads as negative 12y squared minus 12 plus 25y. So the problem actually does start out kind of messy. So we do want to put this in descending order. So we are going to write it so that our exponents on our variables are going to tick down by 1 degree. So my first term is this negative 12y squared, followed by my second term, which would be this positive 25y, and then lastly this negative 12. Note that the sign that comes before the number follows it, so it is a part of your value. The next thing that I would want to note is that my lead term has a negative attached to it, and from previous classes we know that it's easier to work with an expression or a polynomial expression where my lead coefficient of my first term is positive. So I'm going to remove the negative and note that the signs of each of my terms flips. From here, the negative is just going to kind of go along for the ride. We're kind of done with it. It is a part of our solution, but we no longer need to work with it. But we do know that we can try to factor this trinomial. Okay, and it may take some trial and error in order to be successful with it. But the first thing that I would note is, let's go ahead and try 4y and 3y. Now, again, through trial and error, you could have tried 2y and 6y, 1y and 12y, because in either case, if you multiply those pairs together, you would get 12y squared. But if you notice here, we're just going to go ahead and try 4y and 3y. And again, for the 12 from your last term, I'm going to go ahead and try a negative 4 and a negative 3. Now, again, to be clear, I'm using negatives for these terms because the 12 that I have is positive, but when I go to do the FOIL and add my like terms, I'm going to get a negative value out. So that's why I'm going to use a negative for my 3 and my 4. Okay, we can see if we did all right. So again, we're just going to check the product of the outer terms, which would give us negative 16y, and then the products of the inner terms, which will give us negative 9y, and then this will sum to negative 25y, which is what we had in the problem to begin with. So we are okay here. Our final solution is going to be negative 1 times the quantity 4y minus 3 times the quantity 3y minus 4. This is our final solution. And again, bear in mind that this one was a little bit more tricky. I mean, you had a lot more options to play with. But just to keep the video kind of brief and short, we did kind of go straight to the solution. If you have any questions, please feel free to come and talk to me.